Do you really believe? We always say that actions speak louder than words, and I think there's a lot of truth to this. We can say anything we want, but it doesn't matter until we actually put it into action. Our actions validate what we say, or they betray how we actually feel. I was on a retreat a few years ago, and they were doing these team-building exercises, and one of the ones they were doing was the trust fall. If you're unfamiliar with it, it's quite an elegant exercise. What you do is you stand up on top of a high platform, and you turn around, and then you just fall, hoping that your teammates will catch you, trusting, believing that they have your best interest in mind. It's elegant, I say, because it's one thing to say it, it's another thing to get up on that platform. You are not going to do that unless you fully 100% trust your teammates. And what I noticed was that there were some people throughout the retreat that said they trusted each other, but never stood up on that platform. Their actions betrayed how they truly felt. Now, in the interest of fairness, I will admit that I did not get up on that platform either, but I never claimed to trust any of them. They're not going to catch me, no. I was not being deceitful. I was being honest in word and action. But that doesn't mean that I am always this way. There are plenty of times where I say one thing, but my actions betray me. I think of all the times that someone has asked how I was doing, and in fact, I wasn't doing well, but I said, "Oh, yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, busy. Things are great. Yeah, how are you?" Decided to stick to the small talk instead of share how I actually felt. If they would have looked into my actions, they would have seen that I actually was not fine. That no matter what I said, I wasn't really sleeping that well. I wasn't eating that well. I was becoming more irritable, getting angry at people. Everything I said was fine, but everything my actions said that I was not doing fine. My actions betrayed who I really was, what I was really feeling. Our actions speak louder than words. In today's gospel, we hear of the story of Lazarus, but I want to focus on the story of Martha because I believe that she is yet another example of how our actions betray our words. You see, because she says, "Lord, I believe that you are the resurrection. I believe that had you been here, Lazarus, my brother, would not have died." She makes an incredible profession of faith, showing that she really does believe, or at least she thinks she does. Because when push comes to shove, when Jesus actually goes to the tomb, what does she say? "Lord, he's been there for 4 days. There will be a stench." Yes, basically what she's saying is, "Lord, he's dead. He's gone. He is beyond saving. You're wasting your time." Despite what she said just a second before, that she believed that he is the resurrection, that all will have life through Jesus, she believed that he was unable to help her in this case. And Jesus calls her out on this. She said, "Martha, didn't I say that I was the resurrection? Do you not believe?" The thing is, she did believe for the most part, but there was that little crack, that little shred of doubt. There was a sense that she didn't understand the fullness of what she claimed to believe. And so there was definitely faith there. I do not mean to put Martha down, but there was also a bit of doubt that she did not realize. Her actions betrayed her, and it was a sign to her that she needed to grow in her faith, to widen in her belief, to understand fully what she meant by that profession. I think of myself in these last couple weeks and months. I think about how easy it was a month ago to say, "I believe in God absolutely. I believe that Jesus is the resurrection. I believe that he is with us and he will protect us and he will raise us up." How easy it was to give that profession of faith. And yet now I find that my actions are betraying my words just slightly. I'm not having major doubts of faith, but what I am finding is that I'm actually a little more anxious than I was before. There are fears welling up inside me as the world continues to change. There's a part of me that really doesn't want to go to prayer, that just says, "What's the point? Why am I even here?" My words say I believe. My words say I trust in you, Lord, no matter what. But my actions say, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. I say this not to say that I'm leaving the faith or that I'm having any major crisis, but just like Martha, to suggest that sometimes we don't know the fullness of what we profess, that sometimes we're called to go deeper, and that sometimes it's in crises like this that the veil is open and we realize that there's some work for us to do, that our faith is not quite as strong as we thought it was. Maybe you are experiencing something similar. Maybe the chaos of the world has got you rethinking the things you said a month ago. This should not be a sign of collapse, not a sign of despair, nothing to worry about in itself. It should be a sign of hope, a sign to show us that there's still more work that we can be done, that we can trust a little bit more, that we can't stay where we are, but God is calling us to an even deeper sense of what we professed. And so I ask you today, in the midst of trial, in the midst of fear and real chaos, do you really believe? More than just words, do you believe that the Father is almighty, that he created heaven and earth, and that he is in control of all things? Because I tell you, if you really believe, then you won't have fear or anxiety. You'll let them wash away because you know that God is in control. You know that all of this fits into God's eternal plan. I tell you, do you really believe that Jesus came for our salvation and that he will come again, that he will come to raise us up? Because if you really believe, and not just with your words, then you will still have hope. You'll have something to look forward to tomorrow, and you will not slip into despair because you know that God is coming back to us, that in fact he never left us, it is here with us. Do you really believe? Do you really believe that the Holy Spirit is the Lord, the giver of life, the love that lives within our hearts? Because if you do really believe, then this is not a time for pettiness or arguments, for greed or fighting, for sharing deceit and division. Who's on our side? No. If you really believe in the Holy Spirit, that he is the Lord, the giver of life, of love, then now is the time where we truly shine. Now is the time when our actions reach out with generosity, with love, with caring for all those around us. That's how we show that we really believe. Do you believe that the church is holy, that Jesus founded it and we are united through our one baptism? Because if you really do believe this, then it doesn't matter how physically separated we are. It doesn't matter what's going on in the world. We are still united. We are still together in our baptism. We are still called to be for one another. And so our actions reveal if we truly believe that we'll call one another and check in. And then when people ask us, we'll be vulnerable and not just say, I'm fine, but trust in that person that they have the best interest in mind for us and say how we really feel, to be there for one another and all that we can do. That's what true belief really looks like. I say all this not to belittle our faith, not to say that it's not strong enough, but simply to say that it's time, in times like this, times for Martha, times for me, for you, that we get a small test. We get to see, do our actions stack up to our words? If they do, fantastic, keep it up. But if not, today's a new day to take a step forward. Today is a powerful moment to profess that faith as we always do on Sunday. I believe in one God. To profess that Nicene Creed, not just in words, but in actions. To go out wherever we may go, stay in our homes, wherever we may stay, call whoever we may call, and to show that we believe, to show that we really trust. That just like that trust fall, sometimes it takes stepping up onto that platform. My brothers and sisters, I pray for you each and every day. I pray that you are happy and healthy, that you are safe and secure. But I pray most of all that your faith in these days may grow stronger. May God give you his peace.